Generic greetings. The last few videos of Prison Architect have been focused on checking out the early prisons that we made on the channel, so about 6 years ago, and critiquing them and escaping from them and just looking at them, and it was quite interesting and fun to do, but that really got me back in the mood to play some more of this game, so that's why we are here, and we will be making a full facility on this island map. Now, this is not a randomly generated map, it's downloaded from the Steam Workshop, and I've been aware of it for quite some time, and I just thought it would be a bit different to try and make a facility on here. Now, obviously, escape attempts will be interesting because they're not going to be able to tunnel this way, well, anywhere, and the main sort of exit is this thing here, so hopefully security will be not a massive issue, but we're probably going to go for high risk, and we'll also turn on a lot of the extra as well, so it'll be a bit of a challenge. So the road comes on the right hand side down there as well. We've got the garbage and deliveries there, and then we've got a little bit of room to probably place officers, but as always, we'll sort of roughly plan it off in this episode and then start building from next one onwards. Now, because this is quite an older map, we have to turn a few things on. We're going to press escape and go to extras and then to map settings, and you can see we've got some extras that we can put on there. So we're going to enable gangs. We're going to do the same thing for fairly conditions. We're going to do the same thing for probably escape attempts, yeah, escape plans, as well as one more. We'll go for events. We're not going to have weather or needs because I just don't think it's really necessary on this one. So let's just crack on. So we'll go over to rooms and to deliveries, and we're going to increase this delivery size to probably 10 by 7. Same thing for the garbage there, and we'll place some exports down the bottom there as well, same sort of size. In terms of exports and whether or not we'll have a workshop, I'm not too sure, we'll have to see. So this is our deliveries area. We are going to then place a bit of a building up here, and this is going to be offices, and I don't want the offices on site, you see. There's no point in really having them on site, and it's just going to take up loads of room. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could go for a 6th if we want to, but we don't really need to do that because it'll be along the lines of warden, accountant, chief and foreman, and then we won't have a psychologist because those will be on this island to do all the psychology stuff. So on the front here, you can see we have room to build. Now, I don't know if you can actually build over this. I'm assuming you can, but maybe I'm assuming wrongly. What I'll do is I'll have a wall that goes like so, and that'll make sure that this is definitely protected from anyone that's trying to escape, although we'll have road gates and fences over here and stuff like that. So this main entrance here, we will have as a reception, so we'll do it. I'm not going to make it a massive size. I think oversizing it is probably going to be a bad plan. So the minimum size for a reception, I believe, is 5 by 5. Actually, it doesn't have a minimum size, but I guess the realistic minimum size is the size of a table, which will be along the sort of lines of that. Now, we're going to have a entranceway in here. The problem is that it is... hang on, is that right? No, that's not right. We could have an entrance like so, where we have, I guess, an off-center one, or we could have just a single entrance with a single door. We could do that. We'll have a metal detector in there, and then we're going to have the object of a table like that, and then we'll have... Oh, no, it's actually really, really too small, that one. Let's go back over to walls, and then we'll have it is about that size there. So an internal size of 6 by 7. That's more than enough, and obviously we can have our tables over here as well as a sort of desk there and a chair and such, and then we can have some entranceways to the left and right, and then whatever we have here. So in terms of what sort of prisons we're going to have, as I said earlier, we're going to go for probably a more difficult option, so high risk onwards. So we might have Supermax, we might have, well, we're certainly going to have some gang members, and I don't think we'll have death row, but we'll have to see how we go. So in terms of what prisoners we can have, it's really going to come down to size, or really, how many prisoners we can have, rather. It's going to come down to size of the cell block that we make, and we're just going to have one cell block, you understand. And I'm looking around to try and find out where the best place to build it would be, and I want it so that we can have basically just a cell block running from one side to the other, and then everything else will be the amenities and all of that sort of thing. So I think we'll place our cell block up here, and I'm going to make sure that where the nearest water is, so it's these two there, we've got at least one gap all the way around so we can have at least a little bit of a patrol. So we'll probably go down from there along like so, and that'll be about right. So let's just roughly plan these things out. So these are going to be your standard 2 by 3 cells, and I'm not going to go for a huge capacity in the facility. That's not really something I'm aiming for at this point, but we'll have to see how we get on with it. I don't know if we're going to have grading either, but once again, we'll have to see. Now, I was tempted to make this so we have an external prison, so all of these lead to the outside like so, but the problem with that is just patrols and visibility. It's very difficult to see inside of the cells. It's something that the game doesn't do well at all, and that seems to fit in quite nicely, so I think we will go with that. We do want I guess we do want a sort of another section along here, and then have walkways around the outside. I think we'll probably give it a bit more of a gap though, so we'll probably start it from there, I think. Something like that. Basically, so we've got a gap of 4 all the way around the outside, so like that basically. Is that right? So it's 4 to there, then 4 to there, although it doesn't really fit in though, does it? It should be there, right, really, shouldn't it? And then back by 1, and then that means we've got 5 from there and 5 from there. And we've got a nice walkway there, and we'll put some nice tiling in as well. Not that we care too much about the aesthetics, you understand, but I just like the idea of it being a bit different there. So we'll go along with this, and we'll see roughly sort of how many we can fit in. We're going to cap this off at the end there, and quite frankly, I'm just going to measure 5 to there, cut that off, make sure that's once again 5, which it is, and then we know that that there is our sort of central cell block area. In fact, I'm going to actually design it, because I probably want a gap in the middle. In terms of what's going to be in here, there's just going to be cells. We're not going to have any amenities, we're not going to have any showers or anything like that. Whether or not we want to go further down and then cross it along, I really don't know, and have the cells on the other side as well, but we'd probably double up with these, you see, so something like that, and then we'll have a gap of 5, like so, and then the cells will be along, and then 3, and then that will be our, that'll be our cell block. Sorry, that's not the right size. Oh, it is the right size, my mistake. It'll be that. Is that right? It's 5 to there and 5 to there. That's not too bad. The problem is there's a lot of wasted space, isn't there? But I mean, it's good patrol routes. It's just the space we're wasting. If we moved it back over to there, we'd save a lot more space. So I think we're going to do just that. So let's assume that we're going to do that. And all the cells will come down there. I'm not going to put them in because we know what they look like, and immediately we're saving just an absolute boatload of space if the boatload is exactly the size of what I've just mentioned there. So there we are. That's going to be our cell block. Now, is there a rough middle? That would be 76, so bump about there. Is that our middle? I think it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we'll just put the other one in there, and then that is about right, and there's our entrance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bosh, there we go, straight down the middle. There's our entrance ways. We know that we can, actually that one can be capped off, we don't need to get round the back there, and these certainly don't have any reason to do that. So that's going to be our walkway, that's going to be our walkway, and these are going to be the cells as well, and they should all line up, which I believe is the case. Yeah, of course they are, they're just going to be followed down like so. So that's our cell block there. So that's a fair amount of prisoners. If we've got, well, what was that? That was 12 there and 12 there, so 24. 48 plus the ones in the middle. We're close to 80 prisoners, 80 plus prisoners, so that's a fairly decent size. So what do we want in terms of buildings in and around here? Well, we want an area for storage, which I think we can realistically place around here. This could be our area for storage. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to focus on everything being symmetrical and stuff like that, because on a prison like this, it's just not going to happen. So this is going to be our rough storage. We do need power and water, which I think we can place in a building around here, as long as there's an internal 5x5, which we can't get there sadly, although if we then build along like that, that should be enough for our water pump and our water pump, as well as the Is that going to be right? Water pump as well as the power. Let me just double check the size of the water pump because I've totally forgotten. Yes, it is right. It's 3, so it will fit in there. We can't really bring it any further along because it would then clip onto the edge. And like I say, I want to leave at least one gap all the way around so we can get guards wandering around. So that'll be okay. That'll be our water pump as well as power. We probably won't need much more than that. In terms of this area, we're going to have it go up from there and then come down, and this is going to be almost certainly like a cleaning room of some kind. That'll be that bit there. From here, although, do we need that? Do we really need it? We could probably have that as storage or security or something. Okay, so we'll go from there. Let's just assume that we're also going to, say, block this area off. So this is going to be sort of staff only. Then we can, round the back here, if we want to have a security room, so we could sort of build a room back here. But I'm not going to plan that off. We'll just assume that something like that's going to happen. This area here, we will have I think we'll have probably the kitchen and canteen around here. So this will be our kitchen, which we can have access into there. So what'll happen? It's just annoying that is not bigger, so we can make it a bit bigger. I think we are going to have to do something like that. Yeah, that's not unreasonable. And as long as we've got access around here, then we're fine. Not that we need access, you understand. We could always have a door there, but at least if we sort of have a door there, it means that they can't then quickly bust through this way now. So this will be our storage area or something. This will be our kitchen, although it is not a terrible size, but we do want it a little bit bigger, simply because we'll have our objects there. That'll be our cookers, and then we'll have the typical 2x2 like that with the freezers, and then once again we'll have another row there, and then this will be where we have our little sort of door and airlock type thing arrangement. We won't have anyone working in here. We have no cause for allowing that, and we'll have our probably cleaning area there, and then this will be our canteen. So we'll probably go along, and then we'll roughly design the canteen. So in terms of sort of 80 to 100 prisoners, I think we're looking at there. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Yeah, it's about right. It's about right. Considering we also need an area for solitary. That's the thing. We haven't got solitary, and we currently haven't got any protective custody. And I don't know what we can do about that. I don't know if we're going to have protective custody. What we'll probably do is just have maybe slightly larger cells. We haven't got any graded cells at the moment. I don't know if we're going to have them, but we'll see how we get on anyway. So let's just crack on. So over here, this is going to be where we have our, hopefully 15. It is not 15. It is 13, so that's not acceptable. We can have two sets of... Can we do that instead? That would be better, wouldn't it? We'll have 2 sets of the serving tables there. We actually have 3 in there because I believe they are 5. Where is it? Serving table. Yeah, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's fine. And we can have them further down if we do so desire. So from there, we will have a nice gap of 2, and then we're going to go for a 4x3 because that's the size of the tables and chairs. And we will have, we won't have a gap of 2 all the way around the outside. We'll have a gap of 2 from the front of there because that's where people tend to head. But we'll just do this, and we'll see how we get on at this side as well. So, fairly cramped, but also, I guess you could call it cramped, or space efficient. You know, you decide which terminology you want to apply there. And we'll have probably this shrunk down a little bit. So, 2 on either side because, actually no, we'll have it a bit bigger for reasons that hopefully come clear in a moment. So, how many did we get there? 32. That's actually more than enough. That's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. And then we'll go along, and then there we are. So that's our canteen. Now you might notice we have got a bit of a gap because I am going to place another set there. That's going to be where we have another set of serving tables. We can place a wall along like so if we wanted to. The problem is that do we need something like that? We don't need something like that, but it does seem to work out. That's okay. So there we are. Now we've got this sort of little bit of a interesting gap here, and I think what we'll do is we'll have it probably come down, and we'll have around here, maybe connected to the same building. There's no reason why we can't have this as our visitor area, but we're going to have this as a closed off visitor area, and it exactly fits in. So this is going to be like prisoner only. Sorry, this is going to be yeah, this is prisoner only. This is visitor only, although the sizing is a little bit dodgy. I would much prefer it to be there. That's more reasonable, but it means access in here is a problem. Although, to be fair, if we really wanted to, we could just get rid of that, move it further up to about there, have the entrance in there. The problem with that is we'd have to move some of these. We'd have to move actually 2 of those, and then it really doesn't fit, so we're not going to do that. Do we actually just want a gap there? No, I think what we had was actually fine. So going down to there. We'll have what size is this? This should be 21 in terms of sizing. It is 21, so we know that the maths is correct. We just need to remove that, and then we need the entranceway, which means, as I said, this little sort of lip that's in there, which makes it a bit strange in terms of sizing, but yeah, okay. Is there any better way we could do this? Not really. We could have them going to there. If we build it straight down, is there any advantage doing that? There really isn't, is there? I can't see any advantage doing that. Okay, I might revisit that at some point. It's either going to be that or it's going to be something like that. But let's just assume maybe that. And yeah, we'll go from there. So that's going to have an entranceway probably further down. I don't know, probably in the middle maybe. Anyway, there'll be an entrance somewhere. And then we've got the entrance there. Obviously, all of these gaps will have doors on them, but we're not going to place all those. The problem at the moment is we don't currently have access into the facility by a normal means. I think an entrance there maybe then. And then probably doors like that, just to make sure that we're protecting all of that. Round the back here, we do have a bit of space, which I'm thinking is probably going to be used for maybe a building like that, and that's sort of 4x9, and this could be a security building of some kind. And then maybe even back here we could have some sort of like armory, but actually it's probably a bit too small. But at least a security room, like maybe CCTV or something. So there we go. So far we've got the kitchen, the canteen. We've got no yard yet, so let's place the yard. Probably around here. We're gonna have a pathway, I'm guessing, running around like that. So like normal, we're gonna do that, and that's already worked out pretty much what we need there. We're gonna have those open on either side, and then we'll have a wall in there, and then this will become your standard door and metal detector set up, and then we'll have some phones all there as well. Okay, so this is going to be our yard. In fact, we might as well designate that as such as we can, and we have now placed it. There we go. There is our yard. Obviously, it's going to shout out as to say that it is not surrounded by walls. Correct, it is not. Okay, so in terms of what we haven't got a common room, we haven't got the parole, or we've got a reception actually, yeah. We haven't got a staff room, but the staff room will probably be on this side. We'll probably just place a staff room. I'm thinking maybe move deliveries to the opposite side and then just have a staff room there. That is not unreasonable, but at least we'll have a staff room somewhere. In fact, we'll probably place the staff room there and then move the garbage down. Let's do that. So we're going to get rid of that garbage. We'll place the garbage back in. Let's go for a 10x7, and then we know from here we can go along. I know this is right up against the river, but I don't really care too much for this staff room. And then we'll place probably the entrance there. And there we are. I'm not going to do the same for the office, although, you know what, the garbage further away like that is going to be a problem, so maybe that's not the best course of action. You know what, that's a future us problem. We'll put the staff room in wherever we need to put it across the opposite side, maybe there, and then just have it, actually we'll probably put it there. Yeah, we'll probably put it there. We'll get rid of that, so we'll have deliveries in there. We will have our hopefully that truck will stop now, because I did remove it, so we'll see. We'll unpause it and let it crack on. So deliveries, garbage. There's actually no reason why you can't put them next to each other, by the way. I just generally give them a bit of a gap. But there's garbage, and you know what? Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a gap because it just looks a bit better. It's easier to read. And is this going to stop? It is going to stop, which is an advantage. We'll have our exports in as well. Not that we probably won't have that or whatever. And then in terms of planning, our staff room will be that. So there you go. That's not unreasonable, I don't think. I think that's perfectly fine. Okay, so we'll pause it once again, back over to planning. So we've got no showers, so we will put the showers in. We'll have probably a separate shower block in here. We'll have probably a walkway of... Do you want a walkway of 2 around this or walkway of 1? I think walkway of 1 is fine, so we'll have a 2 going down there just because of... This is an opener of 2, but the rest of it we'll just have 1. This is going to be our shower block, and once again we'll have entrances in both sides there, and then it'll probably just go like so, like that, and then we'll have all of the showers there, and then showers in the middle. Actually, you probably don't need anything like that. Straight in, and then maybe showers all the way down the centre. Like that. We can have showers either side as well if we wanted to, and that'll probably do us. We'll just shrink that back down. Might be a little bit undersized considering the amount of prisons that we have. Not that they all shower at the same time, you understand. So maybe that is better. Yeah, we'll go with that. We can always remove some of this and change it up, but that's going to be our rough idea for the showers, and we'll have another sort of little pathway that goes along there and around. Actually, that needs to go up by 1, like that, like so. I'll use walls instead of objects. There we go, and we'll have doors on there. There's something about that that's not sitting right with me for some reason. Let me try again. Through in there, maybe that. So we could just have... That'll save us a lot of money actually, because we'll have showers there, and then showers there. That sits a bit better because at least we can just have the drains there and there, although drains underneath is probably better. I might take another crack at that later on, but the sizing is about right. We might have to increase the size of it, but we'll see. So down the bottom here, we have loads of options for all manner of things, but basically... This is just going to be whatever we need it to be. So all of the different buildings, so chapel, classroom, common room, you get the idea. That's what this bottom bit's going to be. I'm not going to plan that off now, there's no point. Understand that that's the gap where we put the other things in. We will have somewhere probably a big security room. Do we want a security room around here? We could do. I like the idea of like a compound. We have like a you know what? That's actually not a bad plan. If I remove that, and let's assume that we're going to have a wall along here, but this wall will be not your typical solid brick wall, but this will be a fence, and then there'll be an entranceway right in the center, which actually isn't in the center of the facility, but it doesn't really matter. Is there a middle in this one? 21. There is. There is. 10 to there. 9, 10. There isn't. Oh no, it's going to be a double door anyway. So that is fine. 9 and 9. Okay, and we'll have a guard tower there. All right, and then what we'll do? So we'll place that as that, and then that. And then what we'll do is we'll have this will be a compound. So there'll be a building that will go all the way around like so. All right, and in this area, we'll have 3 things. We'll have probably security in the center, we'll have armory, and we'll have kennel. And that'll be a guard tower, so it'll have decent line of sight across there. Actually, we probably won't have decent line of sight there, but it'll have a better one there. And we can also make that a little bit bigger as well, because we're trying to save some space. And this means we can have patrols, and that'll look quite good as well. So that's a bit different. This building obviously doesn't right up our purpose now, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so that is fine. That is acceptable. We need the shower still, so we'll have the shower at the back here. The question is, do I want to do the same thing? Do I want to say cut that and do that, and then have a have a guard tower in here. I do like the idea of that, and then just have this as a, what sort of size is it? 4 by something. So that can be a security room. That can be a security room, so that's fine. The question is, do I want an entranceway this side? I think I do. Okay, so then we'll come along with our pathway here, and then we'll have our shower in and around here. So once again, we'll plan that off. We will make it 2, a gap of 2. The entrances will be there and there. Although we could have an open air shower, couldn't we? And that means we can see what the fighting... if there's any fighting, it means the armed guard can deal with that. We're just going to check we have a shower. It does just require shower heads, so we can do that if we wanted to. What I'll do then is I will have some walls, but these are once again going to be fence, which is not great, is it? But that'll be a fence there, and then the fence will run around pretty much like that, I think. And then we'll have our showers in here. So we'll have a shower that will go down like that. We'll have benches in the middle, perhaps, and then, or do we just want like set of say 6 showers like that, with the walls like so? You know what? That is different from what we've done, and I don't see any reason why we can't do it, so let's try that. We don't have weather on, so yeah, an open-air shower. That's going to be uncomfortable. And then we've got a massive bit back here, which we don't have... Excuse me. We don't have any purpose for. I think what we'll do is have that as a common room, most likely. That'll probably be a common room, because that'll fit in, and then this for whatever we need. So that is our rough plan, very rough plan, you understand, for this episode in the season of Prison Architect. So... Today's beverage is chamomile tea. We're going to give this one a go. Next episode, we will begin construction. We'll pick up some grants. We'll go for the officers. And as always, we won't be getting prisons for quite some time. But at least we now have a rough plan. Hope you have enjoyed this bit of a planning episode. As always, comments in the comments. And we'll see what happens over the next few. And I just realised that the building won't be able to go now because of that amount of water. We'll build separate buildings and have gaps between them and whatnot. As I said, rough plan, things will change, so there we are. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching, take care, and generic partings.